Oh yeah, baby, that's lovely.
We now wander off the beaten path with an update from the Reefer Reporter.
Hello and welcome to the Reefer Reporters with News Hawk Glenn Prentice and myself, Al Graham. It's May the 12th, 2022, and we are live here from the Legacy 420 news desk, and you'll find us on the Facebook and YouTube pages and podcasts afterwards at paceradio.net. I caught myself just watching the intro, Glenn.
I watch it every time.
Yeah, I was sitting there watching listening to the music, and then, oh shit, I gotta get us on the screen.
Well, you can always play it twice, right?
That's right, exactly. That's right. It's that good. You can do it twice. So last week when you were on, you were telling us about going for a motorcycle course.
Looked
did. Like it was going to be a never-ending 3 days of continuous education at you on that.
It was great. I loved it. I learned stuff that I never knew. I drove ATVs for a long time, and there's certain things you do on an ATV that you don't do on a street bike, which I never knew. And I learned a lot of safety stuff. It was a really, really good course. Really tired after doing it, but yeah. I did graduated. I did, good on it. So I was happy about that. And I'm a licensed driver now.
No, you're a licensed driver. Now, when we talked last week, you were talking about coming up in July and picking the bike up. So how's that going now that you're a licensed rider?
Well, turns out I don't have as much patience as I thought I might. And I'm coming there next Wednesday. I'm going to drive the bike straight back. So at least I get to ride it. I couldn't wait till July. I'll be back in July. But I'm going to be driving it until July.
You are. Yes. Exactly.
Yes. I can't wait. I'm really happy and thrilled.
Yeah, I bet you are, and I don't blame you. It's that I always found when I was riding my bike that it's just that feeling. You just joy. The wind in your hair and on your. As if you're outside. Yeah, you're outside. You're not inside a vehicle. You're outside. Your experience
made me feel younger, I think.
Yeah. And you really get to know at this time of the year. You get to meet the bugs. Yeah,
I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of bugs at all.
Yeah. At least in a month or so they'll settle down a little.
I hope so. I'll enjoy it more then, but I guess I'll have to deal with it, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It's part of the enjoyment.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on with the news. And our first story of today, the headline says, active medical registrations with LPs continue to decline while personal and designated increase, according to StratCan.
Yeah, the number of for medical purposes from licensed producers has been declining since legalization, while the number of registered to grow their own medical cannabis or assign someone to do so on their behalf has increased, and I think it should. That's a great thing.
More people are, obviously getting the grow license, which is good. And, as far as licensing going down, that could be related to the fact that the stores are open. And according to the last survey that was put out by the Canadian government on why people access the stores, 53% of them said they did for medical purposes.
Yep.
So I could see that, like you say, why those numbers are going down, yet the other ones keep going up.
And I also think there's more people out there growing their 4-plant limit in the country.
Yes, that as well.
So that it reduces it. It's not a ton, but it does reduce some of the purchases.
Yeah, I can see it. Or there are people registering. So
yes.
The newest figures from Health Canada show the number of medical client registrations with federal licensed sellers fell 9%. From 292,400 in March of 2021 to 264,686 in September of 2021. Oh. In the same time frame, the number of individuals registered with Health Canada for personal and designated cultivation of cannabis for their own medical purposes increased by 19%, from 39,500 to just over 47,000 people, Glenn.
Yeah, so the increase was huge on that side. It's bigger than the decrease was on the federally licensed sellers.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a good thing for Canada.
And more people growing for themselves is, there's nothing wrong with that.
It gives us more control over what we're using ourselves. What we're putting on our bodies.
Correct. And over the years, I've seen patients, that were going to licensed producers, and I would think the same thing could happen in the recreational world, where you get used to a strain, and then all of a sudden it's not available anymore.
Yeah, I agree with you fully.
That strain has been effective for you, for your medical use, so on and so forth, and then all of a sudden you can't. It's not in stock. You can't order it from the OCS. You can't get it from the store.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen in the prescription world.
No, not normally. No.
Okay, although the number of active registrations has fluctuated since legalization of cannabis for non-medical purposes, in October 2018, the overall trend has shown a decline in active medical client registrations and an increase in registrations for personal or designated production.
You can see that right there in the graph.
Yeah.
And
I don't think that's a surprise at all. I really don't.
No, I'm not surprised. No. They say the majority of the increase in registration for personal and designated production is from 3 provinces. Ontario with an increase of almost 2,300. Quebec with an increase of 2,100, and BC increased by 2,000.
Canadians have been able to access cannabis for medical purposes from licensed producers since 2013, and have been able to grow their own or designate someone to do so on their behalf for even longer. Although the personal and designated production allowance was discontinued in 2014, it was successfully challenged in court and implemented in 2017, which I don't agree with that statement at all.
We had the MMAR, where since 2001, basically people were getting their medical cannabis license to grow.
Yep.
And then in 2013, Stephen Harper and the Conservatives switched things, and they tried to eliminate the licenses for the patients, and they shut all that down and allowed the producers to start. And then that was challenged in court, and the patients won the right to grow their own.
But we didn't.
Supreme Court of Canada.
We didn't get any really right. Like I don't have the same right now that I had before I moved here.
As far as
the amount of plants.
As far as your what?
As far as the amount of plants I'm allowed to grow now.
Oh, is that because you switched doctors? I probably had to switch doctors, or your prescription was changed.
I haven't had a prescription in quite a few years for it at all.
That'd be why. Okay.
They wanted to switch me over to the legal.
Yes. I heard about people like that were. Yeah.
It was not good. I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about that. We can talk about that after, and I can direct you to somebody who can help you out if you're interested.
Okay, sounds good to me. Okay, although the average daily prescribed amount of cannabis under the medical cannabis program is about 2 grams, the average daily amount authorized by health care practitioners for individuals who are registered with Health Canada for personal or designated production was 45.3 grams per day. That seems like a lot.
You got to think there's an awful lot out there that are below those 2 grams in order to bring that number down to 2 grams.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And Health Canada argues that this discrepancy can, in some cases, undermine the integrity of the systems that many patients and healthcare practitioners rely on for access for medical cannabis. While there were 7,664 healthcare practitioners associated with registrations made in the past year with federally licensed sellers, only 1,963 healthcare practitioners were associated with active personal designated production registrations. So there's only 1,900 healthcare practitioners here in Canada that are signing licenses. Really,
That seems like a very small number.
yeah, it does.
Country of millions of people.
Yeah,
Of these,
for the growers.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Of these HCPs associated with personal or designated production registrations, 424 authorized amounts equal to 25 grams per day or above. 35 authorized amounts equal to 100 grams per day. The majority, 97% of healthcare practitioners having authorized amounts equal to or above 100 grams per day were located in British Columbia and Ontario.
97%.
Why would that be?
Why? Probably because it's a location that will do it, and they either promote it very well or that people know about them, and that's where they'll go with people who are seeking large licenses.
Oh, I see. They go to the same doctors.
Yeah, because not every 100 grams a day. Majority of them majority of the doctors won't sign that.
Yeah, that seems like a lot. 100 grams per day.
Yeah. So some doctors get known for that, and they go there. And some places they promote that. That's what they do, is that they can get up to 100 grams a day for people, and so they get the business.
I guess so.
Yeah.
In order to address these, In order to address these differences, Health Canada began sharing data on the number of healthcare practitioners and the daily amounts authorized with the provincial and territorial medical regulatory authorities in May and June of 2019.
As one example, enforcement from a government or provincial agency in 2020, the Saskatchewan College of Physicians and Surgeons levied a $15,000 fine and disciplinary action against the Saskatchewan doctor found to have prescribed cannabis to nearly 1,000 patients over 6 weeks in 2017 while working in Saskatoon.
Prior to COVID-19 measures implemented in March 2020 that redirected many Health Canada's resources, more than 90% of license applications were processed within 8 weeks. But then that number dropped significantly in April 2020 to only 12%, down to 0% in July 2020, before picking up speed again in January 2021, which is 45%. By September 2021, that number was up to over 82%.
The amount of cannabis exported from Canada has seen significant increases in the past few years. From 20 kilograms in 2018, 20 kilograms of the whole country. Wow.
That number's not right.
Yeah, to 3,170 kilograms in September of 2021. Health Canada only allows export of cannabis into jurisdictions that have a similar federal regulatory system as Canada, and currently that only applies to medical cannabis.
I think they're talking about the States mostly there.
Well, they said it go. We import or export a lot of it over to Europe.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Germany.
Long way to go.
Yes, yeah, it is. It's a long ways for it to go, but it goes over there, and it's being sold over there.
Well, I hope they're making money over here. Over there.
Well, it's all Well, they're trying. They're international companies, and if they can help get cannabis legalized around the world, then there can be some benefit that way. Less people go. Well, look at Taiwan. They've gone to I think it's Taiwan. Gone from a country that was, basically killing people for it to now, you got it in your food.
We read a story a couple of weeks ago about a country that's threatening to kill one of their star singers.
Yeah, exactly. So it still happens around there. So we got to keep speaking up. All righty, on to the next story. Please confirm investigation in Ontario Cannabis Store data breach. That doesn't sound good.
No, the Ontario Provincial Police confirmed that the agency is investigating a major data breach affecting 1,200 plus regulated cannabis stores in the Canadian province. Ontario's retail cannabis sector is reeling after it was revealed that the government-run Ontario Cannabis Stores which is the OCS, the province's legal wholesaler of adult use marijuana, lost track of a significant amount of data for at least a month.
A month.
Wow. Yeah, a month.
The leaked data is said to include the sales of every cannabis store in the province for December of 2021, as well as store name, respective license numbers, kilograms sold that month, kilograms sold per day, total units sold, total inventory at the beginning of the month, plus each store's sell-through rate, among others.
That could wind up being very dangerous if people find out some of this information.
Yeah, I'm used to reading or hearing about, as far as information when it comes to credit card information, so on and so forth. This is actual data from the sales and all that of the store. And when I read the story earlier, it does explain, where the concern is.
Yeah, okay, great. Stores have expressed concern that leaked information might increase security risk because the public could calculate approximately how much inventory each store carries. That's exactly what I was thinking. I confirm that the Ontario Provincial Police is conducting an investigation, a spokesman told MBiz Daily via phone.
If our investigation does determine that charges are warranted, they will be laid. The spokesman wouldn't comment any further.
The data leak was publicly acknowledged by the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario in a tweet in which the provincial cannabis store regulator denied its involvement in the leak. The AGCO tweeted that the Investigation and Enforcement Bureau, an integrated bureau within AGCO and composed of OPP officers, has been working with the OCS regarding the leak.
Hours earlier at 1:52 Eastern, the OCS sent emails to retailers informing them that confidential OCS store sales data is being circulated in the industry. That email was shared in confidence with MJ Biz Daily. It is not known when the OCS and AGCO became aware of the data breach.
And they did not immediately answer any queries on Wednesday. In its email to retailers, the OCS said it took immediate steps to address the situation after a month, right?
Yeah.
Including restricting access to internal data reports, commencing an investigation to identify the source of the leak, and notifying the Ontario Provincial Police.
The leak is the latest blow for Ontario's cannabis retailer sector, which is suffering from a glut of competition, falling prices, and widespread concern over pending store closures. We've got 1,500 stores here.
Yeah, they're saying a glut of competition. That's a pretty weird way to say competition.
Yeah, it's just competition. There's just, it's a free market. That's what the government wanted, to allow people to, if they could do this, had access to be able to set up a store, to go ahead and do it.
And to be fair, that's what most of the people that I know wanted.
Yeah.
We want choice. We want a whole bunch of places to go. We don't have a system like you do in Ontario here in New Brunswick. And I'll tell you, your system's much more open. I can go and have a choice, much bigger choice there than here. Yeah,
I know you have some private stores open. Most of yours are public or government-owned stores.
Yes,
you have some private ones as well, right?
We have 3 now farm gate stores, as far as I know. It's 3.
Okay.
And we have a lot on reserves.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right, because I know in BC they have government stores, and then they have stores that are owned by individuals, and that's not going over well. So, all righty, move on to the next story, and it says Greenway Greenhouse to sell through North 40's medical cannabis platform, according to StratCan.
A large greenhouse cannabis grower in Ontario will be offering cannabis through Saskatchewan-based micro-producer North 40's online medical cannabis platform. Greenway Greenhouse cultivators Captain Kush and Blackberry Gelato will be sold under the Red Barn brand in the North 40 medical cannabis platform.
Nice to see where it's emphasizing medical platform. First licensed in 2019, North 40 has been steadily building a reputation for quality, small batch cannabis products. And in 2021, the micro producer also began offering sales for authorized medical patients. North 40 offers on-demand packaging and a direct from grower experience with an array of product choices.
So are they talking about like drop shipping, basically?
drop shipping, on-demand packaging, and direct from. I'm not sure what you mean by drop shipping.
I'm thinking like if Greenhouse is directly like North 40 would take the order and then send it to Greenway. They would ship it directly.
Maybe. I don't know.
That way it eliminates.
It's on their. Well, it says it's on the North 40's platform, so people may have to go to their website or something like that and order it that way.
Yeah.
Being it's medical, it wouldn't be something that would be in the OCS. They don't do medical.
Yeah. Okay. Greenway Greenhouse Cannabis Corporation, first licensed in 2020, is located in Kingsville, Ontario. Gordon Nickel, the owner of North 40, says the partnership with Greenway will help provide more options for patients registered with him.
Yeah, he also goes on to say, through personal relationships with patients I supply, the cannabis I grow will not always be the product that they want and need from North 40. Greenway Greenhouse provides a high-quality product that has impressed me in many aspects as we bring on more patients. I am confident we can meet their needs in quality, quantity, and value.
And Greenway said, we're honored to be welcomed into the North 40 medical platform and be the first cultivator to provide dried cannabis other than Gord himself, said Carl Mastronardi, president of Greenway Greenhouse, in a company press release.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a good thing. It gives people a little more option.
Yeah, and looks like a small grower that's joining up with a smaller place.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Good story.
Right. Working together as a team, some people would say.
Yep.
All right. On to our next story. And it says, paying the price in the cannabis supply chain, according to StratCan. What's this all about, Glenn?
Well, cannabis consumers pay around $8 a gram on average. How much does the grower actually get? A licensed producer, which is LP, grows the cannabis. For non-flower products, this LP, or a contracted third party, processes the cannabis into a pre-roll, vape, beverage, edible, etc. After that, with one provincial and territorial variants, the products move through a government-run wholesale purchaser, which then fulfills orders to retailers and in some instances directly to consumers.
However, there are many processes within this chain, all of which add to the cost. These include laboratory testing, packaging, and shipping. When all of this is taken into account, according to the most recent data from Can Standard, the price of 1 gram of dried cannabis from any package size is $8.54. Given that at the start of legalization in Canada, the price was $11.33. This represents a 25% decrease, but even this may be optimistic. Yeah.
Can Standard's numbers look high to me, says Don Sutton, founder and CEO of Tantalus Labs, which is BC's largest locally owned and operated LP. We work off the metric of duty paid landed wholesale cost, which is averaging about under $4.50 a gram across all packaging volumes at this time. It is about 50% lower than wholesale prices at the outset of legalization. And I think it should have been 50% lower. The prices were crazy at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I agree with them that that price, like almost $9 a gram, seems awful high.
It does.
Yeah.
So I don't pay that now, not even close.
No. Yeah, I haven't got a clue. I just grow it. Okay. Can Standards, we read that. Sutton is one of the driving forces behind for the Stand for Craft campaign, which is advocating for excise tax relief in Canada. Stand for Craft has come up with a detailed breakdown of the baked-in cost of the gram of cannabis in Canada. According to Stand for Craft, a $7 gram would break down as follows. Producer margin, 1 cent. Cultivation and processing costs, $1.50. Lab testing costs, 55 cents. Packaging costs, 50 cents. Shipping, 15 cents. Excise taxes and regulatory fees, $1.26. Provincial distribution tariff, 58 cents. Retailer margin, $2.45.
Sounds like most of this is taxes.
Well, I'm surprised by the retailer margin being at $2.45. I expected it to be a lot lower. I expected it and the LP's money to be almost switched around, where it says the LP only makes a penny.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well,
how do you survive making a penny?
Yeah, but he is a micro producer, so he is a producer of cannabis. The guy who did this.
That's absolute crazy numbers.
Wow, 1 cent.
A few things stand out when looking at this data. The first is the difficulty in assessing what is going on with LPs, which are reluctant to discuss margins. Given the hundreds of millions of dollars that the big LPs have lost over the past 3 years, it is fair to say that some are operating with negative margins in a desperate attempt to unload flower and gain market share.
Of course, smaller craft providers are feeling this squeeze too. However, there is anecdotal evidence provided by StratCan by retailers off the record that some higher quality flower is developing a loyal brand following and are able to command premium prices. The greatest variable in the data appears to be in cultivation, processing, and packaging. This is where leading companies are investing in order to build brand loyalty, yet there are major cost differentials depending on the product.
For the most part, for our business and the brand's business to be successful, they need to know how to recoup from retail, said Paul Karuba, Manager Business Development at Peak Processing, which helps companies with sourcing and integration, as well as the development of beverages, extracts, and concentrates, vapes, powders, topicals, among other services. However, each product and brand is format dependent. It is very difficult to speak in general terms.
What is clear is that processing ups the cost and that the margins are low. Those companies that order higher volumes have an advantage, as do those that have clear visibility into their costs across the supply chain and consumer intake. Karuba says that where we've had success is with flavor profiles, with beverages. A company can leverage marketing to drive sales as opposed to just saying, this is a 10 milligram beverage that will get you high.
Yeah. It costs money to make a quality product, and consumers should keep this in mind, particularly when purchasing in a regulated market where brands have to stand behind what they deliver. For example, in the unregulated market, edibles have been shown to have drastically lower THC levels than advertised. At under 8% of total cost, lab fees would seem to be a good value. I agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We did a story. We've done a story almost every week about, them not being right with their levels.
Oh, well, Legacy, and
Legacy
Tim have posted the story or posted lab results of products. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
By far, the biggest bite in the supply chain comes from retailers. The Stand for Craft data, which puts the margins at 35%, is largely consistent with those reported by retailers contacted by StatsCan. Some of the retailers, all of whom wanted to be off the record, claim margins as low as 30%. And it is possible that the big value chains, such as Value Buds and Canna Cabana, are working with even thinner margins.
While cultivation and processing represent about 21% of the total cost, it might surprise consumers to know that excise and regulatory fees at 18% far exceed the average taken by the provinces at only 8.3%. In Canada, when cannabis is priced at under $10 a gram, the excise tax on cannabis has a floor set at $1, which increases the tax margin as a function of revenue.
I didn't realize that we had a sliding tax scale now for cannabis.
Yes, yeah, we do, yeah.
Absolutely insane. I'm a flat tax kind of person, so it stuns me when I see things like this. As well, the excise and regulatory fees do not include taxes at the point of sale, such as GST and PST. When combined, the consumer is ultimately paying upwards of 30% of some form of government. Crazy.
It's like gasoline.
Sorry, Al?
It's like gasoline.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's a scam.
30% of the price is tax.
And some of these people are patients that are paying 30% on top. It makes no sense to me. But
Yeah.
Private craft operators have not had access to public markets, which has made it more difficult for them to compete. Given the larger firms can operate at a loss for longer periods, the pressure is ongoing, and despite the fact that the price of a gram of cannabis has been in steady decline, the industry is still vulnerable and in inflationary pressures across the supply chain.
Crop inputs have increased in price around 20% over the last year due to increased transportation costs rising from global supply chain crunch, according to Sutton. Further to this, supply gaps have created situations where critical inputs are hard to acquire, forcing cultivators to buy larger volumes when they are available, locking up working capital.
Yeah, shipping costs and all inputs have exonerated cost increases, he said. One supplier has increased its shipping cost from $3,000 per container in 2019 to over $15,000 per container in 2022. Many of the supply chain, it's incredible. Supply chain pressures are still in place. The many regulatory requirements specific to legally available cannabis, such as lab testing, tariffs and taxation, packaging requirements, the role of province, the retail regulation are unavoidable fixed costs. The irony is that while these add to the price of cannabis, they also ensure that consumers get exactly what they pay for. I'm all for getting what you pay for, but the red tape and the taxes are ridiculous.
Oh yeah. That taxes 30%.
Yeah, 30%, and that's on a lot of patience, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you take the tax, and then you got high price of some cannabis. You add that to it, you got some pretty expensive strains, and which leads us into our next story. And before we go to break, I'm going to tell you an experience about labeling, or lab testing and stuff like that.
Okay.
Remind me in case I forget. All right. Next story. What are the most expensive cannabis strains on the market, according to the Fresh Toast?
Not everyone can afford the most expensive strains on the market. These are affordable alternatives with great cannabinoid profiles and are a solid option. You may be shocked to know that many of the expensive premium cannabis strains on the market, past and present, have affordable alternatives. There is no need for spending hundreds of dollars on growing or purchasing a cannabis strain with high quality genetics when you can settle for its cheaper counterparts.
Dispensaries, in the most part of the world, group strains by price. Some of these products are priced on the high side based on their fanciful names and the expensive cultivation techniques used to produce them. Yes, all cannabis strains do not have a standard breeding process. Some strains are produced by the citizen science approach, a system where growers irregularly play around with cannabis genetics to put out something unique. This approach produces nothing laughable, but a few times it results in cannabis strains with the best of the best.
Multiple strains were produced from extensive cannabis breeding practices. Here, high-tech grade equipment and world-class genetic materials are handled by highly skilled, experienced breeders. The products created here are often priced based on the input into the program, irrespective of the origin of the plant. Most of these strains emerge at a far higher prices than regular strains. The point is that some of these premium seeds are not worth the price tags they come with. Only a few are. While I won't excuse the fact that these premium strains offer unique impacts, I'd like to point out that some actually overhyped for easy marketing and quick sales. They are far better strains with better genetic qualities and psychoactive highs than these premium high-priced strains.
So here we go. We got some strains to name off. Fruity Pebbles. They say they've been around for style for a while now. Most growers, breeders, and consumers can testify to how the strain came and went like it was nothing. It emerged limited time offer from Alien Genetics. Their genetics created this hybrid by mixing Granddaddy Purple, Tahoe, Alien, and Green Ribbon strains with some powerful parent strains. Fruity Pebbles had no choice but to live up to their tantalizing sweet reputation. So there you go.
And now it's gone.
Yeah. Next strain.
Next strain is cheap alternative called Runts. Developed by Zamnesias, genetics team, the Runts strain is a better tasting and more potent strain with similar effects to Fruity Pebbles. The breeding team discovered that Runts was produced by crossing Killis and Gelato. Runts is a reasonably rich terpene and cannabinoid profile. It is one of the tastiest and highly potent strains right now with 27% THC and guaranteed large yields. It is priced at $9 per seed. Another advantage is that the seeds are feminized.
Oracle in 2009, a new mysterious strain gripped the cannabis sphere. Then reports flying around claim that the Oracle strain could be the most significant breakthrough for cannabis potency. Everyone wanted to have a hit with its cultivars. The Oracle team put out a rumor that their strain had an enormous THC profile at 45%.
Wow.
But they also claim that the cultivar could complete its growth cycle in a shorter period than any other strain in existence. Because of these unproven anecdotal claims, the strain's price rocketed to $1,000.
Wow.
And their claims were proved false in 2013.
Of course they were. 45%?
It was a dominant CBD strain. Wow.
Yeah. CBD fix automatic. It makes no sense to pay up to $1,000 for CBD-based strain. Instead, you can purchase the CBD fix alternative strain, especially if you desire a similar experience as the Oracle strain. The Zamnesia produce strain contains about 14% CBD and 0.8% THC. The hybrid emerged from a mix between Northern Lights Auto and another CBD-rich descendant. It costs less than $10 per seed.
Isla OG. This one has undefined origins. It first came light when the famous rapper 2 Chainz smoked it on a 24-karat gold rolling paper. Right now, I believe it was
that can't be healthy.
Excuse me. Expert cannabis genetics say that they suspect the sativa dominant parents produced the cultivar, and the two suspects were Hawaiian and OG Kush.
And another cheap alternative is OG Kush, and that's one of my favorites. I like Kush strains. OG Kush offers a remarkably similar experience to Isla OG. All the more reason why OG Kush is often considered the strain's potential parent. OG Kush is popular among veteran and novice smokers alike. It is known for its high THC levels and unique flavors and aromas. With OG Kush, you get similar tastes and effects to the Isla OG at a significantly lower rate, worth $5 if you can buy a seed of this feminized strain. $5 a seed.
$5 a seed, yeah. Bottom line is, many breeders offer high potent strains for reasonable prices, and these strains were developed with the average smoker in mind. Not everyone can afford the most expensive strains on the market, so these affordable alternatives with great cannabinoid profiles aren't out of place without breaking the bank on top of that. So there you go.
Yeah. And you said you had a story for us.
Yes, I have a story for you. Remember I had last week I told you about a lady I had met on the street, and she ran a business called Up in Smoke.
Yes.
In Niagara. What was cannabis delivery?
She sent you a couple edibles.
Correct. Well, I ate some. Okay. There was a bag of chips, infused chips that were in there. It said 500 milligrams.
Like a Dorito style kind of thing.
Huh?
Like a Dorito kind of style thing?
Something like that. And then, so I ate the whole thing. 3 hours later, everything was fine. 500 milligrams. So the next day, before I left here to go into town to meet up with my brother, I had 2 chocolates that this person had made, and they were listed as being 400 milligrams. So they're less, right?
Yeah.
So I ate them both. I'm gonna say
they were 400 milligrams each.
No, 200 each.
Okay.
So I ate them both. 400 milligrams versus the 500 the day before. Well, I'll tell you, I have never gotten that high in the last 20 years.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy fuck. Yeah, I actually got a ride home.
Wow, I can't believe that.
Yeah, I got a ride home. And
so the numbers might have been a little bit off on those treats.
Yes, obviously. One
of them was off.
One of them was off. Wow. Yeah, I came home and had a nap.
So what's your normal? Like if you're having an infused treat, how many milligrams would you have?
I haven't got a clue.
Oh, okay.
I haven't got a clue. So the next night, I don't know if you saw the pictures on Facebook. I went out to campfire. So the next night, I took out a 200 milligram chocolate bar and a 30 milligram beverage, and smoked some doobies, and everything was fine. And that product was all lab tested. So, is it between 250 and 400? Was the 400 stronger than 400? I don't know. But I get stoned. It's been a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you have any pictures?
No, not of me, but you can look at the pictures of the. Yeah,
I saw the campfire.
But you saw the campfire. That's the next night. So, all right, after break we go, but you just never know. Okay, Glenn and I'll be right back after a joint session. You're watching the Reefer Reporters. We are live here on the Pace Facebook and YouTube pages. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Pace Radio Network, by patients, for patients, and for those who want to know.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our Hydroponics Superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go.
Hi folks, Scott from stpattiesday.com here, and we're absolutely stoked to tell you about our brand new program called Pass the Peace Pipe and our partnership with Legacy 420 out of Tyndonega. We are absolutely proud to be partners with these people. They are an amazing group that have helped so many people with their amazing cannabis medicinal products. And we are working together to gather funds to build the first ever Indigenous specific opioid addiction center here in the Bay of Quinte area on Tyndonega land. So we need your help. We need you to repost this video and go to our GoFundMe campaign, because on this October 17th, St. Fatty's Day, we are going to be starting the campaign where we pass the peace pipe from one side of the country to another to unite our country, to gather awareness, but most importantly funds to build opioid addiction centers across the nation, one build at a time.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. And we're back for our medication session, and we're live on our YouTube channel as well as on Facebook or maybe you can catch the podcast afterwards at paceradio.net. Well, Glenn, we got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories still to cover.
We do.
And you know, even though people are getting, states are legalizing cannabis, people are still getting arrested down there. So our next story from the Fresh Toast, the headline says, "How not to get arrested for weed in illegal states."
That's kind of a weird headline. How not to get arrested where it's legal.
Well, you know, you can do that here in Canada.
Oh, yeah, I guess if you do something wrong.
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
One of the biggest mistakes cannabis enthusiasts make is not paying attention to the fine details of the law. Here's what you should know if you want to be a responsible consumer. While cannabis is legal in some form in the majority of the U.S., many are feeling a lot more relaxed, and it's just not because of the cannabis. Cannabis users feel legally liberated in states where cannabis is legal. It is a great feeling to know how you can enjoy something you love without fear of going to jail. That first paragraph, it says cannabis in 3 different ways in one paragraph.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Well, this is partially true in states where cannabis is legal. It's not the whole truth. In fact, there are several ways you can get arrested while cannabis is legal. Here are 10 rules to remember when you live in a state where cannabis is legal that may just keep you out of handcuffs.
Always buy from a registered dispensary. There's a lot of reasons you should buy your cannabis directly from a dispensary. There is quality control, safety, and you know exactly what are you getting. Sometimes you do. Most of all, it is the legal way. Remember that just because cannabis is legal in your state does not mean that you can purchase it from an unlicensed dealer or from a stranger off the street. This is still very much against the law.
It's like here in Canada. Never resell cannabis you purchase legally. It might feel like a simple favor, but selling your friend the cannabis you purchase legally, even if you are not making a profit, is illegal. Well, your friend may not tell on you. Just remember the possession is legal, but the selling and delivery of cannabis can land you in jail. That's what the gifting law is nice about.
I don't understand this. If you're making a profit, I do understand it. If you're selling it to your friend, he wants a half an ounce and you have an ounce, what is the difference if he pays you exactly what you paid for it?
Well,
what does it hurt?
Yeah, you know, technically, you know, it'd be like if I go to the store for you, you're giving me my money back. Does that look like as a sale?
Yeah, if you put gas in my car and then I pay you back for it, that's illegal for cannabis. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah.
You know, if I charge you more for the gas, maybe that's something. But if I charge you the exact same, I don't see that. Anyway, if you've been approved for medical cannabis in the state you live in, you can legally obtain and use it for medical purposes. When you have cannabis in your possession, be sure to have your medical cannabis card on you.
Don't overplant cannabis on your property. It is legal to grow cannabis for recreational or medical purposes in over 20 states. Grow laws vary in every state. Some only allow you to grow for medical purposes. Each state has a restriction on the number of plants. Some states even have a restriction on how many plants are allowed to flower at one time. Be sure you don't get a greedy green thumb.
A greedy green thumb. Don't smoke cannabis where it's not allowed. Some states allow you to smoke in public and others do not. Possessing and using cannabis on federal property, however, is always illegal. The federal law applies to offenses committed on federal property, which includes the Capitol grounds and the mall within D.C., as well as all national parks and the military property nationwide. According to NORML, this means that you would think twice before sparking up at the National Mall or your Yosemite Park.
Yeah. Don't carry too much. That's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
While you might want to buy as much as you can at the dispensary, but there are laws that can get you arrested because there are limits. You know, here in Canada too, being caught with large amounts of cannabis can sometimes land you with felony charges in most states. Ooh.
Yeah. So never purchase or partake with those underage. Pretty explanatory too. It may feel like a no-brainer, but getting an underage person high or providing one with cannabis is always against the law. Remember, the legal age is 21, not 18. But you can go and die in the army at 18, though.
Yeah. You go buy your alcohol when you're 18 too.
Yeah.
Don't sell it in the mail. Edibles might seem like great addition to care package, but it is a illegal act. And Colorado's official website says the United States Postal Service is run by the federal government. Since the cannabis isn't federally legal, you can't pop it in the mail.
I like the fact that we can mail in Canada.
In here, yeah.
Do not bring it across state lines. Individuals and even companies are not allowed to bring cannabis across state lines. All the cannabis you legally purchase in a state is from that state and legally must stay there. This is an easy thing to assume if you're traveling in a state where it's illegal. If, however, you are going from one state, legal state to another, you should not cross the border with it. Keep in mind that when you fly the friendly skies, those skies are federal skies, not state-owned.
That's right. Yeah. Now, don't drive with weed in the car, they say. It's not always illegal to drive with cannabis in the car. If cannabis is unopened and it's packaged, it is often acceptable. Open flower and other open forms of cannabis in motor vehicles is often illegal. Many states have adopted similar laws to open carry laws that exist for alcohol. Also, if you get pulled over with visible cannabis in your car, it isn't just a good look. It just isn't a good look. Be smart and limit how often cannabis is your vehicle when you're driving. Here in Ontario, the saying is by the government and the police is put your skunk in the trunk.
Okay, that makes sense. Keep it away from the actual driver.
Yeah, you can get charged with access to cannabis, just like you can get charged with access to alcohol when you're driving. And that's what a lot of the charges were in the beginning of legalization. Was the fact that people were getting it and just putting it on the seat beside them or on the floor in the front, not thinking twice about it, and getting busted for it. So
I have been guilty of that myself. Not getting busted for it, but leaving it in the open where I just didn't think about it.
Yeah, like what do you go to the cannabis store to pick? You go to your local cannabis store and you pick up some suppositories and you put them in your passenger seat and you get busted for driving with cannabis access to the driver.
Yeah, I don't know. I've done it so many times. I never really think about it.
Yeah. So exactly. All right, continue on.
Oh, that one's done. Right?
Oh, that was the end. That's the end. We're done on that story. There we go. We remove that. We'll move on to the next one. And it's from MJ Biz Daily. And the headline on it says, opinion, let the cannabis packaging sector lead the way out of an environmental tragedy. And this is, like I said, MJ Biz Daily.
Yep. We're drowning in plastic waste. About 2/3 of all plastic ever produced has been unleashed into our environment and remains there, stuck, unable to decompose. Our oceans are the much talked about epicenter for this tragedy. The fear, the panic is all for very good reason. Plastic will outweigh the fish in our oceans by 2050. Wow.
Environmentalists have raised red flags and international organizations have pegged for global cooperation to solve this epic dilemma. There have been some changes in the behavior of populations of industrialized nations, and perhaps we are beginning to see nano bits of progress inch us forward in the right direction. Like, look at our packaging. It came out black plastic, couldn't even recycle.
Yeah.
When it first came out.
Yeah. We have glass containers now for 1 gram. Yeah. For 1 gram. It's crazy. Small progress is better than no progress.
Yeah, it says nano process. That's small.
Yeah. Big pharma moves too slow. This is where an opportunity opens for nascent cannabis industry. Here's a chance to make a meaningful contribution to Mother Earth while reinforcing the legitimacy of the business and demonstrating its many responsible acts.
After all, the cannabis industry is projected to reach $52.5 billion in the U.S. alone by the end of 2026. And it makes good business sense to put the spotlight on things that the community is doing to make the world a better place. The packaging of drugs, prescriptions, and over-the-counter products is doing great harm to our environment.
The pill bottles, we are all largely not recyclable. 91% of plastic containers wind up as environmental waste. You know, those plastic pill bottles you throw out, they can take up to 1,000 years to disintegrate. But it's going to take 1,000 years. It's going to take a Herculean effort for big pharma and retail giants to find solutions and implement them to replace plastic so we can get our needed meds.
Just up to 1,000 years. Is that a possibility that the first pharma or medical bottle, dispensary plastic bottle, is still out there?
Yeah,
it's still
and it's going to be there for generations and generations.
Yeah. Wow. The young cannabis industry is not yet bogged down by the burdens of bureaucracy and comfortable inaction. Decision-making still comes easier because of the lack of endless corporate hurdles to jump. Vibrant business people are carving out a new, often embattled business opportunity through fierce determination, unyielding vision, and creative problem solving.
To thrive in the burgeoning cannabis industry, we need to be this kind of action-oriented leader. These are the people who also should be leading the charge to change our decades-old dirty habit of plastic packaging. Like the cannabis industry, the eco-friendly packaging business is another growth area for 2022.
It'd be nice to see it grow better, more and more. Innovations and entrepreneurs are exploring a variety of options to bring products to market in a manner that will satisfy customers' needs yet reduce our carbon footprint. A biodegradable plastic equivalent is not on the immediate horizon yet, as far as I know.
I watched a program the other day on mushrooms that they were growing as like a plastic. And it's pretty incredible and super strong and completely biodegradable.
Mushroom plastic.
Yeah, it's and they're growing them in molds. They can make bricks out of them. They can make all kinds of things, and it's pretty cool. It's like when you do cannabis hempcrete.
Yeah.
You know, the fibers in the hemp hold the concrete together. It's the same kind of idea with the mushrooms. I was on the show I was watching anyway.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard about that yet.
Cool things.
That's right.
The solutions that are available are about to become available. Are likely to require some effort on behalf of the consumer, such as exchanging used packaging for recycled or sanitized new packaging. Eco-friendly packaging innovators are ready to talk with forward-thinking business leaders eager to make impactful changes to their products' packaging to save our planet.
The cannabis industry is a perfect starting point, they say, with an aware, eco-savvy customer base. Perhaps there isn't a much perfect match. As the cannabis business succeeds with creative, non-plastic packaging, it can demonstrate to other industries that new thinking is possible, and we can change the product to consumer paradigm without that is killing our oceans.
Yep. My ask to cannabis industry leaders: please seek out alternative packaging solutions. Take the initiative to seek out a new breed of eco-forward packaging manufacturers and work within your business ecosystem to drive change and save our seas and protect our futures.
Yep. Work within your business ecosystem to drive change, to save our seas and protect our futures. Reusable, eco-friendly packaging will be a good public relations for the cannabis industry, but it'll be an even bigger win for our environment. Remember,
Agreed.
We don't have an environment, Glenn.
We don't have anything.
We don't have anything.
Nope. Sorry.
Sounds like you're getting a phone call.
Yes. I have no idea who it is, though.
Well, let them leave a message then.
Oh, it's Moffat Dodge. I don't even know who that is.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Oh.
All right. Up next on our stories, we got one here from the Fresh Toast. Sounds like I'm getting company. I can hear voices. All right, the Fresh Toast headlines. Yeah, medical cannabis for autism. What the latest studies are telling us. No, I can hear. There's people here.
There are more studies ongoing to help
them.
It helps shed light on how the body and endocannabinoid system in autistic people respond to cannabinoids. Around 1% of the global population has autism spectrum disorder, and this number is gradually increasing since doctors are becoming more adept at diagnosing it.
It can be painful and challenging to have loved ones struggling with symptoms of autism. In extreme cases, this can include self-harming, aggression, and severe anxiety. Despite all the advances in medicine, we still don't have a cure for autism spectrum disorders. Though the treatments available are mostly focused on symptom management, so that those don't disrupt the daily lives of those with the condition. Since it affects everyone differently, the symptoms vary greatly as well, which is why tailored treatment plans are necessary.
Currently, psychotherapy and prescription medication are the two main types of treatments being used for individuals with autism. Many types of psychotherapy are used depending on the symptoms. These may include one or some physical therapy, occupational therapy, assisted therapy, speech therapy, or applied behavioral analysis. For medication, the FDA has only approved two: Risperidol and Abilify, which are antipsychotic medications designed to reduce aggression and irritability.
Treating and managing autism can be extremely difficult, but thankfully, cannabis has been shown to be beneficial in children as well as adults with this condition. A recent review led by Marina Babaeva, Touro College of Pharmacy in New York, revealed that there is a growing body of clinical studies that have shown promising results using cannabis to treat autism spectrum disorder.
Yeah, due to its vital role in regulating emotion and social behaviors, the endocannabinoid system represents a potential target for the development of novel autism therapy, reads the study. The authors also added several studies have suggested that dysfunctions in the components of the endocannabinoid system may contribute to the behavioral deficits and neuroinflammation observed in autism. Wow.
Within the medical community, it's also a widely accepted hypothesis that since the receptors of the endocannabinoid system can be found in the central nervous system, this explains the link between cannabinoids and improvements in autism systems. In 2020, researchers from Boston's Tufts University revealed that when they worked with kids as well as young adults who had ASD but medicated with hemp-based or cannabis products, 60% among those with aggression caused by ASD reported that they noticed improvements after treatment. Meanwhile, 91% of those who had both ASD and epilepsy saw improvements in seizures. 91%.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos of epilepsy patients being helped with cannabis, and it seems to be a very promising therapy.
And, it doesn't work with everyone, and then there's the strain situation, right?
Yeah.
But there are a lot of them.
Then in 2021, a clinical review of existing literature on cannabis for autism concluded that cannabis products have been demonstrated to reduce the number and or intensity of different symptoms, including hyperactivity, attacks of self-mutilation and anger, sleep problems, anxiety, restlessness, psychomotor agitation, irritability, aggressiveness, perseverance, and depression. Moreover, they are associated with an improvement in cognition, sensory sensitivity, attention, social interaction, and language.
Wow.
Can make big difference.
That is a big list of improvement. Yeah. Wow. The studies offer then concluded that cannabis and cannabinoids may have promising effects in the treatment of symptoms related to ASD and can be used as a therapeutic alternative in the relief of those symptoms. In the medical community, it has become clear that while the research on cannabis for autism is still in its early stages, it has been nonetheless controversial. That hasn't stopped families from asking doctors and seeking professional medical advice on the use of cannabis for autism symptoms, because there are significant cases of anecdotal evidence that it can be helpful for many of its symptoms, especially when it comes to calming down aggression and reducing seizures. CBD has especially been noted as helpful because it's non-psychoactive and has a long track record in treating seizures safely for children. And it's always good to have a little bit of THC in there, even with the kids. And, you know, the evidence, as they say, it's just the anecdotal evidence is just huge.
What I've seen, and again, it's anecdotal, is it needs to be a combination THC and CBD, not just CBD.
Correct. Completely agree.
So, and that's only anecdotal, though. So I wish they would do a lot more studies in it.
Yeah, and they need to do more, and there'll be more. There'll be more.
Yep.
Go ahead.
In fact, many parents feel so strongly about the use of medical cannabis for treating autism symptoms. A parent advocacy organization called the Mothers Advocating Medical Marijuana for Autism has chapters in several states. In their website, one can find numerous testimonials from families who say that cannabis has helped their children. What is said is that many of these families are medical refugees who have had to relocate to states just so their kids can benefit from the states with medical cannabis laws, where it can be used for seizures and other symptoms. And that's an absolute shame of the medical system.
Sure is.
There have been families that have also sent in their testimonies anonymously, saying that they have used cannabis illegally because we still don't have the legislations in place enabling autistic people to use cannabis.
There are currently 14 states that list autism as either a qualifying condition or a debilitating condition, but that isn't enough. No matter where you live, you must be able to have access. You must be able to have access to medicine that can help make a difference in your life, even if you choose to medicate your child with cannabis.
There are more studies ongoing to help shed light on how the body and endocannabinoid system in autistic people respond to cannabinoids. While the exact mechanisms are still much of a mystery, we can at least say that the cannabinoid compounds work for autism. However, the efficacy type of cannabis product and dosage taken all play a role too. There is some research that says THC taken with CBD is best, while others say CBD alone is best.
Yeah, I'll take it with the THC, please. While cannabis can help, parents who want to give their children cannabis for medicine should keep in mind that it should not be seen as a cure-all. At best, cannabis probably works more effectively with other autism systems. Speak to your doctor or in a state that has legalized the use of cannabis for autism to find the proper route that you should go.
Yep.
It's just like pharmaceutical medicine. It doesn't always work for everybody.
Yeah, and there is a lot of unknowns with this, especially with the different strains. It's experimentation you have to do.
Oh yeah. I've sort of compared when it comes to cannabis, it's like going into a drugstore and walking down the aspirin alley.
Yeah.
The aisle where the aspirins are, and you got all these different good kinds of aspirins that do different things.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah. And some work for some people, and some, like, I can only take Tylenol. I can't take anything with an anti-inflammatory.
I can't take aspirin at all.
Nothing, eh?
No, it affects my stomach.
Yeah. Yeah, it does affect that. Well, there you go. You getting that call again? That same person?
Same people. I don't even know who it is. I know it's a Dodge, Moffat Dodge, but I don't know who that is.
Yeah. You're not looking to buy a car, are you?
No. Not a Dodge.
Not a Dodge. You just bought a motorcycle.
I got a motorcycle, yeah.
That's right. All right. On to our next story. According to Mugglehead, Cannabix study correlates THC levels in breath and blood samples.
A Canadian developer of cannabis breathalyzers has successfully tested technology that can rapidly collect breath samples to detect TCH with the same level of accuracy as blood samples. On Monday, Cannabix Technologies, Inc. reported the results of an independent study using its field asymmetric waveform ion mobility spectrometry, or FAMES technology.
The study showed collaboration between breath samples collected and analyzed with Cannabix hardware and blood plasma levels of THC. The company's handheld breath collection unit and newly developed laboratory mass spectrometer breath sampler were used together to provide a new groundbreaking method for drug detection. So I must say the TCH is THC.
I'm wondering if this works the same way the last detected systems work for them.
The last one was saliva.
Yeah, but it's built up over a period of time. So would I always test positive even with this?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out as we go through the story whether it detects up to recent use.
Yeah. Cannabix noted the technology has the potential to significantly decrease laboratory analysis times and operating costs, providing precise results within seconds without requiring any sample preparation. This study shows the capability of the Cannabix breath analysis system to easily and rapidly collect breath samples in the field and correlate to blood THC levels. Cannabix senior and analytical cannabis Dr. Jared Brock said in a statement.
The system developed by Cannabix scientists and engineers was recently tested in an independent study conducted by Philip Ola of Bioscience in Ontario. The experimental study included 6 subjects with an average age of 23. Breath and blood samples were taken before smoking cannabis and up to 1 hour and 40 minutes after smoking.
Data from the study showed the blood and breath levels of THC over time correlate with a high degree of accuracy, up to 2 hours after smoking. Blood is currently the standard measurement for law enforcement, toxicologists, and evidence used in courts of law. We have developed a truly groundbreaking breath analysis tool capable of breath sampling for THC within seconds with no sample preparation needed, Dr. Brock said. Furthermore, we were able to store, ship, and analyze samples for up to 40 hours after they had been taken in the field.
There you go, 40 hours after taking it. So but still, it didn't give us any idea as far as how long, whether it's something of recent use. Or...
That was always the problem with the testing. It's not accurate for someone who's a daily user.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to a patient yesterday, a former patient who's going back to work. They're no longer consuming cannabis, and they're going to go drive truck. And they're probably a month and a half since they've consumed, and they're still they're checking themselves to make sure that it doesn't show up.
Yeah, I told you before, probably I tested 31 days after not consuming, and I still tested positive.
Wow, 31
days. And I swear I had nothing in that 31 days. Nothing.
Wow. Yeah. All righty. Last story of the day. Another study. Some more research. This one, a little different. Researchers make a surprising study and discovery involving cannabis stems.
The cannabis plant is arguably the most useful plant on earth. Cannabis enthusiasts throughout human history have used it for countless purposes, including medicine and sacrament. It is also no secret that the cannabis plant has been used by humans for personal enjoyment as well. While cannabis buds are smoked, vaporized, and/or infused into consumables, it can yield euphoric effects.
Cannabis plants are comprised of dozens of cannabinoids. Cannabinoids are subject of numerous studies, including studies focused on cannabis' ability to battle inflammation. But what about the stems of the cannabis plant? Are they useful for battling inflammation in any meaningful way?
Researchers in Korea set out to answer that question via a recent study, the results of which were made public earlier this month. A team of researchers from the Geobuk Institute for Bioindustry, the Biomaterials Research Institute, and Andong National University in Korea examined shelled seeds, roots, and stems from cannabis plants.
The researchers looked at non-cannabinoid psychochemicals in these parts of the cannabis plant to see if they possessed any inflammatory properties. And they say among water and ethanol extracts with 3 cannabis parts. Cannabis stem ethyl extract, which is CSE, has the most potent free radical scavenging activities and suppressive effects on the production of nitric oxide from macroplasts. In further studies using these macroplasts, or whatever they are, CSE effectively inhibited, there's another one, LPS, inflammatory, induced inflammatory responses by suppressing pro-inflammatory cytokines, nuclear factor KB, and activated protein. Boy, these are some words.
Geez, I'm glad you got that paragraph out.
I guess so. Right? And cellular accumulation of reactive oxygen species. Oh boy, that's a mouthful.
Yeah. Gas chromatography, mass spectrometry analysis, and CSE showed several active compounds that might be associated with its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. Collectively, these findings indicate that CSE counteracts LPS-induced acute inflammation and apoptosis, suggesting pharmaceutical applications for the stem part of C. sativa, the researcher said.
Yeah, C. sativa, that's cannabis.
Yeah, so it basically means they can use stems and seeds for medicine too.
Yeah. These findings are significant given the fact that so much medical cannabis product creation is focused on the buds of the cannabis plant. For many producers, the stems are just a useful byproduct or useless byproduct nuisance that often gets discarded. In the future, it's possible that the stems could prove to be just as valuable from a profit and wellness standpoint as the cannabis buds themselves.
I agree with that. And I think not just for medicine, I think obviously they're used in concrete and they're used in a few other products to make things strong.
Yeah. And I know that from seeing the story online, there was people who were commenting about it and saying, this isn't new news. This is old news. They've been doing this for years, or we've been making this product. For example, VCBC, they have a product that they make out of stems that is very popular. It's a tincture, and the people were talking about the benefit of that. So
not wasting it.
That it's out there, it's in the press, or it's in print somewhere, so that can be spread even further. Right?
Makes sense.
Makes sense to me. All right. Well, what's up for you next week? More renovations?
No, I'm actually going to go pick up my bike next week.
Oh, right. That's
so
right. Then you're coming back in July so you can visit.
Coming back, and I'm going to say hi to people in July. This trip is probably going to be just directly there and drive back.
Straight back, just stop for breaks.
Yeah, I have to stop because I'm only allowed to drive in the daylight hours, so I'll get a hotel halfway back here. It's about a 14-hour drive, so I can't make it in one day, I don't think. And I probably don't want to because I'm a new driver and I don't want to drive 14 hours straight,
Correct. So that means you're going to miss next week's Reefer report, but you'll return.
Unfortunately, I am. Yes.
Yeah, and
I'll be back. I promise.
Yeah, I know you will. And being that you just told me before the show, I will be on the hunt for your replacement for the day, someone to fill in for you, and we'll find out who it is next Thursday.
Good luck.
I'll know before then. All right, that's our Reefer report for May the 12th, 2022 from the Legacy420.com news desk. Thanks to our sponsors, BMAHydroponics.com, Dr. Buck, CTS.com, Legacy420.com, and the Camelford Lifestyle Shop. And in closing, we'd like to say thank you for watching or listening to the broadcast, and don't forget to educate, medicate, and do not incarcerate.
Oh, yeah, baby. That's lovely.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our Hydroponics Superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.